broadcast network, AfterBuzz TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AfterBuzz TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
It's called something with a C. Closure.
Can I Google that real quick?
There you go.
Yeah, it's called like...
Guys, thank you for tuning in. This is The Grinder After Show here at AfterBuzz TV. We're talking about Season 1, Episode 3. If you haven't already, go to iTunes and rate us 5 stars and comment, as well as go to youtube.com/AfterBuzzTV and subscribe. If you haven't already, why don't you go ahead and log on to Twitter and give a follow to my amazing co-host. You can follow Leslie at...
Thanks. At Leslie M. Ambers.
You can follow Stephen Helmkamp
at Stephen Helmkamp, StevenHelmkamp.
Not a C.
You can follow Emily Cardell at
Emily Crodel like Yodel. But don't write like Crodel like Yodel. Just put Emily Crodel.
And you can follow me at Stephen Lemieux, StPHENLEMIUX. But what if you couldn't?
No one understood what you just said.
But what if we can?
Nobody understood.
Did you know that I know?
But don't let them know that I know you know.
That you know.
But I want to repeat it back to you so that way it's out of my words and you know.
But the
that
pronouns
I know.
will change.
The pronouns will change.
Just don't let them know that I know.
That you know that I know.
That you know that Dean knows.
Because he doesn't know that we both know.
I don't want Dean to know that you know that I know he knows.
Leslie, what'd you think of the episode?
Oh, I feel like that could have kind of been a wrap. I thought it was funny. I think this is my favorite one so far.
Really?
Yeah, I liked it, and I also like, because usually we see, we see the case going on, and it's always like this big, oh my gosh, at the end, Dean comes in and saves the day. I like that it was brother versus brother. I liked it a lot. I liked that.
Yeah.
So way to go, Grinder writers.
I think this episode was more of a familia episode.
Mm-hmm. Getting gangster with it?
Yeah, kind of.
Or Spanish. That too.
Yeah. No, I did really like it because I like the struggle between brothers as I have a sibling. And actually this happened to us because at Christmas time, my brother maybe got really PO'd at me and he threw a baseball at my face and I ducked and it hit the karaoke cabinet. Not karaoke, curio. You know the curio cabinet?
Yeah.
And it busted the glass and it was like $150.
Did he admit to breaking the window?
No.
Oh, well, Dean finally came through and did. I didn't like the episode as much.
Yeah, I thought the first and second one were much stronger.
Me too.
The reason being is we left them at a place where people are moved forward. In this one, we kind of move forward, but we don't really.
No, it's kind of stagnant. It's definitely stagnant.
It doesn't. It doesn't continue on the character's development so much as it just kind of solves something from 20 years back. Like if
the stakes were not high enough.
No.
You gotta raise the stakes.
You gotta raise the
different
stakes.
sense of humor, guys.
The whole stakes was Stuart proving that Dean was wrong, getting him to fess up to a lie. That's not high enough
There
stakes
was an interesting.
for a show.
I thought there was an interesting moral lesson with the episode. Like he's like, okay, once I've cleared my conscience, like I feel a lot better, So I think it went more in that vein rather than, like what you guys were saying, it didn't match the other episodes at all. Like it didn't revolve around the case. So now it's like, oh, what direction are you going to go in now?
I'm going to rephrase what I said. It wasn't a worse episode. It was a different kind. It was a different kind of episode. Let's go ahead and break down kind of the family aspect of it, and then we'll get into the case aspect. It really kind of it all flows into each other on this one. The kids, again, we're getting every episode we get another episode of The Grinder that they're talking about, and they're kind of referencing for the use. It was an episode, I guess, Season 3, Episode 16 of The Grinder, when the woman admits to him that she had done it when he literally just walks up to her and says, I was like, I got you. She's like, how did you know it was me? It's, because you just told me. And so that sets the basis for all of the characters' stories in this episode. You have the two brothers, and you have the brother and sister siblings, where he's telling him that it's okay to lie for a good reason, which sets up the pitch for later in the episode when the son is an actor now and is completely following Dean's lead. So it develops that to the point that the kid is really, really, really taking after Dean. The son is really taking after Dean. The daughter seems more on her dad's side, so that kind of creates a cool dynamic. But yeah, I mean, everything's based on lies this episode. Lies to get to the truth.
Yeah.
It was funny to me. I like that part when he's like, why do these characters just confess for no reason? Like
and then he confesses.
Yeah, exactly.
And Dean's whacked out vision, he can literally just go on with a lie for so long that it becomes believable to himself.
Right.
And that's kind of the way he goes about it, because he can never have that facade of being wrong. But like you said, Ethan taking more of Dean's lead really just solidifies Dean's foot in the household, which Stuart obviously does not like. And then in terms of the family dynamic, we got Dad in the house. He's moved in
for just a little while,
a temporary time. I think it was just a good little excuse to get him
everyone's
in.
I love
house.
Dean saying though, it's like, oh, thanks for letting me stay here. Oh no, they love having us.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can come back anytime to this house I'm staying at. They love having us. But I do know that Leslie actually didn't watch the episode.
I did. I watched it earlier.
Oh, I was trying to get you to admit that you...
Sorry.
You could have
I'm
confessed
not going that way.
She screened the episode
Not
early
going.
because she had another taping of the Mindy Project. And
You guys can watch that too.
Hey.
So we
But
got...
watch this first. This is cool too. This better.
Oh, okay. So it reminded me of Friends whenever Joey is keeping that secret from Monica and Chandler that they are together. What? Wait, whose underwear are these?
I don't get that reference, but...
It's awesome, you guys.
So there's three storylines running in this episode. There is who deleted Ray Donovan from the DVR.
Who's the mole?
Who's the mole? And we have to get him to admit he was wrong through the story of the window, where Stuart was grounded and missed out on losing his virginity for another 18 months because he was grounded during a overnight trip because of a window that was broken that Dean won't admit. And even the dad thinks that Stuart's the one who broke it. So through that, they create this mole storyline to get Dean to admit he was wrong. So the mole storyline is, obviously there has to be a mole because Laszlo and them...
Randy, was it?
Randy
Are
Laszlo.
those their names?
Yeah.
Laszlo.
The opposing attorneys.
Yeah, the opposing attorneys have been having all sorts of inside information on the case.
Yeah.
So
I wrote that right after Todd said, we have to find the mole. I put Todd.
It had to be Todd.
Yeah, it would have
But
been way
I don't
too
think that
obvious for it to be
people knew.
Claire out the gate.
Yeah.
It would have been way too obvious. But
It
I
was
thought
nice that it was kind of like a twist, like he doesn't know he's the mole. You know what I mean? I was like, interesting.
I do like this episode in that respect, now that you bring up Todd, is we're getting to know the people that are part of the firm a lot more.
Yeah.
Todd really reminds me of Ed Helms' character from The Office.
Yeah.
Oh, totally.
Toby.
Yeah.
His name is Steve.
I
forget his
said that
last
the
name.
first day.
I don't remember.
Yeah?
Yeah. But I don't know if I said it in my head or I said it out loud, but I definitely thought.
That reminds me of tripping on acid. So...
Yeah.
So
His
It
name,
was a
Todd.
banana.
Todd.
He was
No, I didn't say
hilarious
that
on
out
Eastbound
loud.
and Down. So in episode 1, when he had that small little guest star, I was really hoping that they would develop his character, and they did this episode.
He's really good at being that awkward guy, and we get that whole
the
dynamic.
fall guy.
The fall guy.
Yeah.
And we find out that he's the one at the bar who is giving away the secrets, which we kind of figured. I thought the bartender was going to be the mole, but then it's like, no, you're just talking really loudly at the bar.
A very clever, funny, creative way to discover who the mole is.
Yeah.
No,
I thought the writing on that
I know. I agree because
scene was really good.
Yeah, because it's like, dude, would this guy do it on purpose? You know, he went. They could have gone that route, but he's not.
No,
you know?
because he's a good-hearted guy.
Yeah,
He's just
exactly.
stupid.
Just an
He's
idiot,
just
good-hearted
an
guy.
idiot.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
needed Stuart to be right, but they also needed him to be wrong.
Yeah.
He needed to be wrong about there not being a mole, but he needed to be right in the sense that nobody at this law firm, it's a family law firm, nobody would really be a mole. It doesn't make sense for Claire to be the mole. So, shut up, Dean. Like, there's no mole.
What was that line that Todd said when he was like, "Oh, so should we fire her and I can get promoted?" I love that he kind of gave his own little edge to it at the beginning of that.
Yeah, beef up my role over
Yeah,
here.
like,
Beef it up.
okay,
Beef it up.
let me step right in. But then at the end, he tries to be all dramatic and he's like, "I'm the mole," and everyone's like, "Dude, shut up."
Everyone knows.
Poor
Everyone knows
Todd.
Todd.
Poor Todd. Everyone needs a Todd.
So,
No, because it's the best. Because he's like, I am the mole. Like, it's like the best.
We know. Yeah, we know.
You know?
We know you're the mole. Yeah.
Everyone knew.
I got an email about it. Yeah, it's fine.
I got an email.
This episode's actually fairly difficult to just break down in some aspects because it was all just storytelling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, unless we're going to recap it chronologically, it's kind of difficult
I
to
just think
dive
that
into.
one scene with the okay, the
Like
I
a lot
know
of one-liners.
It was
you
basically
cannot
all
let
skits.
Dean know that I know. And that was interesting because that section I thought was going to end like really fast. Because I was like, oh, this reminds me of like that Friends where he's like, don't you know that I know that blah blah blah. Because that it's like, you know.
Where Stuart comes to confront Dean. Or Todd. Stuart comes to confront Todd. I like that acting. That's one of my notes of the episode. I like the acting being that it feels a little bit improv. The actors are sort of talking over one another, which in typical TV format, that's a big no-no.
Right.
You don't ever want to jump somebody's line. But in this series, you're seeing a lot of that, and it feels like the director, the writers are giving the actors a lot of leeway, and that creates beautiful...
Yeah. And that happens with
That's true. That's some of the best TV.
Yeah.
that happens with
SNL,
Stuart
all
and
that,
his
yeah.
wife too. Like 3 times.
Yeah,
in this
Fred
episode.
Savage is a genius at it. He really feels. I love his acting because it feels like
They say
here's
same
the
thing, like,
script,
3 times,
but if you feel comfortable saying something else, then say that.
Yeah, they improv at the right times and they script it at the right times.
And they make the words their own.
Yeah, when you're doing a table read for a comedy, there's beats. It's hit. There's some weird rhythm to it that they do.
Incredible rhythms to comedy. A lot of people who aren't actors or in the business may not know that, but there's a lot of like you go up here, and then you undercut, and that's like a certain technique. There's like 15 different techniques in delivering lines, especially in comedy.
There have been people who have gone to the table read for a pilot they booked and for a show that they actually got serial actor on that they've been removed from the show
At the table read. Yeah,
because comedy's all about beats. If you can't get the timing right, it will throw off an entire a show like this that's just hit after hit after hit. It throws off the entire flow. I think it was Modern Family had 3 recasts because of table reads.
At the table read.
Yeah.
Isn't that great? Can we just recap that and say that again so everyone watching really understands that? Because that's a huge thing.
Yeah, it's either Modern Family or another show. I'm pretty sure it's Modern Family. Just the same role recast 3 times because of just flow and conversation, table reads. And it's nothing to do with the actor's talent at all. It's literally just it's a chemistry thing and it's a rhythm thing that if you just don't get the rhythm right, unfortunately they tape the episode so quickly in those kind of settings that they can't afford to do it several times just to get the rhythm right. You have to be on it.
And that actor who just booked that pilot, that series regular role, went through 5 to 7 auditions
just to get
back
there.
in front of like studio executives, networks, in front of like the final audition is in front of like 20 people in a room. You sign your contract, so you have this huge amount of money in front of you. You know what's coming in. Then you go to the table read, meet the rest of the cast, and you're ready to go. And you read the first episode. And if you don't perform, it's not really a performance, but it kind of is because, as you know, you can get cut.
No, yeah, you're being judged by all those people. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, well, I mean...
Fan wants to go into acting.
Yeah.
Now you know.
Yeah, a little tidbit.
You look at how expensive it is to do a commercial. Look at 30 minutes of television on these networks. Like, this is investors and money. And when you're not going to get the return on their investment for them, they're going to cut you.
And they're paying you $20,000 to $50,000 a week per episode as a series regular.
So, you know, you got to be on your game. The actors in this show feel fairly... I'm really impressed with the son.
Yeah.
Ethan, very, very impressed with
kind of
with
a breakout role for him.
Yeah.
I totally can see him in something else.
Big role?
I don't
I
recognize
feel like
him.
I've seen him in a movie before, but that's probably the only other thing I've seen him in.
Like a minor character.
Yeah.
Because even that crying scene, I was like, ooh, hire him. Put him on the actual Grinder. Make a spin off of it. Just Ethan.
I think it comes
kid
down...
lawyer or something.
Like, the energy of the cast comes down from the top. Like, whoever the number 1 and number 2 is on the call sheet, which is obviously going to be Fred Savage and Rob Lowe. So those 2 guys are such cool cats and easy to get along with. And I'm sure they show up to set every day with a smile on their face, easy to have rapport with. And that really trickles down to the rest of the actors and makes a great show.
I have a feeling Rob Lowe doesn't go out of character at all on set.
I feel like Rob Lowe is Rob Lowe.
Yeah, I feel like he's literally acts like the Grinder on set. Like they're probably at the crafty table. And it's like, hey Rob, we're out of mashed potatoes. Are we really out of mashed potatoes? What if we weren't out of mashed potatoes?
Right.
Would you be able to go to the store and get more mashed potatoes?
Constant laughs.
Perfect Rob impression there.
But I don't think you can say anything because I don't know when people if they would know if he's joking or not.
Right. You just like laugh, yeah, and walk away.
Overall episode, it was a solid episode comedy wise. There wasn't much development to talk about, so we can go ahead and probably get into predictions.
Plot was so-so. I do just want to say I think Rob Lowe looked like a fool in that beanie, but maybe that was his point.
I know. I kind of
He looked
from a
beanies,
lady's
dude.
perspective, he was
Beanies
rocking
are
it.
sweet.
He looked
Really?
good. Yeah. I
So
was
do we
like,
have some
oh.
predictions thing
Dude,
or
this
no?
reminds me of my friend from Paul.
Predictions.
Okay, there we go.
Okay, we won't
And
talk about the place anymore.
now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
I'm gonna be negative Nancy here for a second.
Go for it.
Yeah, I know. I feel we're gonna get a strong season, but I don't feel it's gonna get a second season.
Ooh.
I kind of agree.
It's only
yeah.
because for these kind of shows you got to have consistently like 6 really good episodes off the bat to maintain your audience, and I worry that this episode will drop a lot of people.
What if they come strong on the 4th episode? Will you change your opinion?
Maybe. This reminds me of one of those shows like
I thought it was kind of like a thing, like a season, you know.
yeah
I thought it was kind of like, oh, this is a season show. Like knowing
No, you're
it
not
is.
guaranteed 13 episodes.
No, you're not.
Sometimes
Isn't it
they'll-
like 10?
they'll guarantee 6, they'll guarantee
I don't think
9.
they'll get canceled. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying I don't think it'll get renewed. It reminds me of the William Shatner show with crap, what's his name? Anyway, my asshole dad or whatever it was called. My dad is an asshole.
Or the Bill and Golf show, something like that.
Yeah, but it's like really good comedy, really funny show, but the audience just doesn't follow it. They get a slow start and then it picks up and gets really good. Don't Trust the Bee in Apartment 23. Brilliant.
Oh, that was so good.
Brilliantly
I loved
written
it.
show, but a bad 3rd episode, and it kind of sealed the deal for it. So I don't know. I hope I'm wrong. I'm saying this as a fan. I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I'm just saying from the feeling that I'm getting from it, I think we might have a few iffy episodes, but I think the season's going to finish really strong.
I mean, it's doing hot on Twitter, like following Grinder and Rob Lowe, always retweeting stuff. Like, it seems like people are loving it, and
That's
even
good.
like the age range is from like little, like maybe like high school kids tweeting at him to like moms and like saying, "Oh, I just watched your show with my kids, and like we were dying of laughter." So
if it gets a second season, it'll get a 3rd and 4th.
okay,
Like I feel like it has the potential. It definitely has the potential.
is that usually a guarantee with shows? Like once you get 2, you're like solid.
Not at all.
No,
But
okay.
but usually with comedies, if they can make it to 2, they've built the audience enough that they'll stick around. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I would like Credell to go
Oh,
first.
would
Ladies
you?
first, yeah.
Credell. Nice, thank you. I was actually surprised whenever I saw this episode. To me, seemed like it went a lot faster. Like the last episodes, I felt like I don't know, had so many turning points, and then this one was just like really straight. And I would kind of agree. I feel like it is kind of like a season show. Like I felt like that's the goal of it. It probably isn't for them, obviously, but it just felt like that to me. Like that we just want to have a great season. Everybody like finish on a good note, baller. But in terms of the actual storyline and the plot, yeah, let's see. I think that maybe Ethan coming up will have like the next big conflict in the next episode that everyone has to kind of get in on.
Geared towards him.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then maybe that would be like, oh, if he has a super struggle, that people actually have to like, yeah, like you said, raise the stakes.
He'll be the focal point, yeah.
Right. And it's a really big conflict for him. And that could be really interesting. And it could be more trying and put more drama on Rob and Fred Savage's people.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
And
like
Mom.
that. They did state that, oh, well, we're never going to top the pilot in episode 2.
They did say that. They did say
We'll
that.
give them a little bit of leeway on episode
Foreshadow.
3. I'm looking for a strong episode 4. I do like hearing that moms and kids, and there's a broad age range, are tweeting Rob Lowe and the Grinder on Twitter. I think it's definitely family friendly. I think that the audience is families. They can sit at home on a Tuesday night and check out the show together and stuff, because even on a lot of cable TV, there's a lot of provocative, there's sex, there's language, there's graphics, and a lot of things on television shows that families can't watch together. So the Grinder kind of fits that bill for families. So I do believe that the audience will hopefully stay strong there. And then in terms of the next episode, I'm looking for more Claire. I think Claire will maybe get developed a little bit more. And then we'll get back into obviously Dean and Stuart doing something crazy. But I just love the first 2 episodes, how Dean came in as the Grinder, not knowing anything, and just putting his foot down and kind of stepping in and solving some cases. So I'd like for Dean to be more active in
great at
cases.
pretending.
Yeah.
Good thing he plays an actor and is an actor. I think we said it last time, and I think I was reading some of our YouTube comments and someone mentioned it, and I was like, oh, I predict that too. That's a good idea. So whoever you were, congrats to you. But I kind of want to see cast members of the Grinder, the drama, kind of leak into
the real
Dean's
life.
Idaho life, or even maybe do an episode in California, and you see Stu and his family go visit with him and see the craziness of that. I'd love to see something like that.
All right. Well,
cool.
It'd be
maybe we
interesting
will
to
see that.
Oh, sorry.
Unfortunately, we are out of time, so I can't elaborate on that. Where can we find you on Twitter, Stephen?
At Stephen Helm Camp with a K.
And Leslie?
At Leslie M. Ambrose.
And Emily?
At Emily Crodel on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Thank you.
And you can find us here next week for Season 1, Episode 4 of The Grinder.
Thank you for watching, guys. Tune in next week.
Leave us those comments on predictions, because I can use them.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
The Grinder rests.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.